We usually think of the Grammys as a night for fancy outfits and big performances. But the 68th ceremony back in 2026, it felt different. It really felt like a turning point, not just for music, but for how music connects with the world. So let's dive in and break down why that one night felt so important.
Right from the get-go, you could just feel something in the air. This wasn't just another award show. The whole night was really built around this one powerful idea. One chapter was closing, and a brand new one was about to begin.
All right, so first up, a farewell to CBS. The most obvious end of an era was happening right there on our screens. It really boiled down to two pretty huge things: who was showing the Grammys and who was hosting them. A major chapter was definitely closing.
And look, you really can't overstate how big of a deal this is. This was the very last Grammys broadcast on CBS and Paramount+. Starting in 2027, the whole show moves over to Disney. That means it'll be on ABC and streaming on both Hulu and Disney+. This is a massive shift that's going to change everything from who watches it to how it's marketed around the world. And it wasn't just the network changing things up. That number, 6, that was for Trevor Noah's 6th and final time hosting the show. So you take his departure, and you add in the huge move to Disney, and yeah, it really hammered home that we were watching the grand finale of a very specific period for the Grammys.
But this ending didn't feel sad. It felt like a party. The vibe in the room was apparently like a victory lap for this whole big tent idea the Grammys had been going for. And you could totally see it on stage. Rap, pop, rock, Spanish language music. They weren't side acts. They were the main event. It was a real celebration of how diverse music had become.
Next up, the year's biggest winners. And that big tent philosophy, it absolutely carried over to the awards themselves. It wasn't just about who got a trophy, it was about what these wins were saying about music in 2026. So here they are, your big 4 winners. I mean, just take a quick look at this list. You can see a theme, right? Global superstars, deep lyrics, and artists who are really pushing their genres forward. That's clearly what the voters were rewarding.
Okay, Bad Bunny's win for Album of the Year was easily the biggest statement of the night. This wasn't just a popular artist winning a big award. This was history. An all-Spanish language album taking home the top prize. That sends a huge message about what mainstream music even means anymore.
And then you had Kendrick Lamar in SCA nabbing Record of the Year. That win, plus Kendrick's other awards, made it crystal clear that rap wasn't being sidelined. No, it was right there in the center of the prestige categories, getting recognized for its artistry and its importance.
Of course, it wouldn't be the Grammys if the internet didn't have a few things to say. The group chats were definitely going off about these wins. You had Lady Gaga's huge return to dance pop with Abracadabra. Then there was the win for Defying Gravity, from the Wicked movie, which started a massive debate about what pop music even is. Probably the most emotional moment for a lot of fans was seeing The Cure finally get their flowers. And you can't forget Doechie's incredible video for Anxiety getting a much-deserved win. Just a night full of moments.
Which brings us to our next section, music, moments, and politics. Because this year, the Grammys was so much more than an awards show. It was like a cultural Rorschach test reflecting all the big conversations and tensions of the year.
And the absolute loudest theme of the night, the one you just couldn't miss? Politics. It was woven into everything, the speeches, the fashion, you name it. It was completely unavoidable.
And it was interesting to see how different artists chose to use their time on stage. You had the quiet, visual things like artists wearing pins, but then you had really powerful speeches. Bad Bunny was very focused on human stories. Billie Eilish made a very blunt statement about her values, and SZA's speech was this moving plea for everyone to just hold steady.
But it wasn't all just heavy politics. The show also sparked some really interesting artistic debates. I mean, when Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande won a major pop award for Defying Gravity, the internet basically broke. It got everyone asking a really fundamental question. What in the world is pop music anymore?
Hey, even the fashion told its own story. Chappell Roan's look was everywhere, and it got people talking. But what was so cool was how she immediately got online and just took control of the whole conversation. She turned what could have been a controversy into this amazing lesson in how to own your image and just have fun with it.
So with all the debates and politics flying around, there was one moment that just brought everyone together. The In Memoriam tribute. Seriously, goosebumps. You had these unbelievable performances from Miss Lauryn Hill and Post Malone honoring people like D'Angelo, plus a huge tribute to Ozzy Osbourne. It was just a beautiful reminder of how music can unite everybody.
So let's zoom out. When you put all these pieces together, the goodbyes, the historic wins, all the cultural chatter, what does this snapshot of 2026 actually show us? Well, it shows one era of TV ending just as a new, global streaming-first era is kicking off. It shows that big tent vision for music is here to stay, and I think most importantly, it shows a room packed with artists who are hyper-aware that their music doesn't exist in a bubble. It's tied to this big, complicated world we're all living in. At the end of the day, the 68th Grammys did an amazing job of capturing a very complex, very vibrant, and yeah, a very tense moment in time. So as the show heads to its new home and starts this next chapter, it really just leaves you with one question. What's the picture going to look like next?